Here I am in my little office. Who are we talking to today? We're going across the Atlantic to America. I'm not sure where. I don't know if he's in New York or Los Angeles. What is he? Well, he's kind of everything. He's a comedian, he's an actor, he's a writer, he's a director, he's a producer. He is an Emmy Award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome onto your laptop, small device, or maybe you're projecting it onto a TV. It's Ben Schwartz. Wow.
Whoa, we
Wow.
did it.
Whoa.
How exciting.
That's a lot of hair. And especially as you were leaning forward, I basically just saw hair.
I apologize. I apologize.
No, it's to be celebrated. It's to
Oh,
be
good.
celebrated. Hey,
Fantastic.
thank you for doing this. How lovely to meet you.
Oh, lovely to meet you as well. Sorry that it took so long. I hate when things take so long, so I apologize.
Oh, no, don't worry. You're a busy man, and we're going across the Atlantic to do this. It's the morning. It's Los Angeles. What? And I said, is Ben promoting something in particular? They said, well, not really. Now, have my end got that wrong, Ben? Is there something I meant to be mentioning here?
You don't have to mention anything. This is more that I get the opportunity to chat with you and very exciting for me as well. But I think when we originally we originally booked this, I had a TV show called The After Party on Apple TV Plus, which is available in England. That had just come out, which is all sorts of fun people. And Jamie Demetriou, who's in Staff Less Flats, he's in
Oh,
that
yeah,
program
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
So I think we were promoting that in Sonic the Hedgehog, but I think so much time has passed that everything's been out and out of the theater.
Originally, I was booked to promote The Godfather, but so many years now, and there's specific things I want to talk to you about. Let's say the name Billy Crystal, and
Sure.
who's somebody I've been aware of for so long. You must have had just the best experience. Tell people what you did with Billy Crystal.
Sure. So I did a movie called Standing Up, Falling Down, and it starred me and Billy Crystal, or Billy Crystal and I rather. But he was attached to the film, and then after that, I was offered a role in it to be the lead with him, and it was amazing because also I'm a Jewish kid from the Bronx and he's from Long Island. So even that in itself, but he is what we grew up with. The Oscars were such a big deal when we were younger. I feel like, I don't know, the past, it doesn't, maybe because I'm older, they don't feel as big of a deal. But when we were younger, it'd be like, it was appointment television for everybody in the family. You know what I mean? It's also like the only time you would see these stars ever because there was no social media. You would never see photos of anybody. So like the only time I could see, like a Robert Zemeckis, who I Back to the Future is my favorite movie. It's like, oh my God, that's Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah,
I didn't know what he looked
yeah.
like. And so you're seeing all these movie stars being human beings. And it was so exciting. And then they become human, and then you can have a real human connection. But that first moment, it's like, I've seen you. You've never seen me or met me before. I have seen you so many times in my life on screens, and you've been inspiring people and stuff like that. But he was incredible. And then to collaborate with someone like that, and then we helped like do a rewrite of the draft of the script, and then after became close friends and still FaceTime all the time and check up on each other. And it's so lucky. It's like to truly to meet one of your heroes. So he's amazing. I'm sure you guys would get along, beautifully. He's also so funny still and does bits. Like we'll leave
Yeah.
each other stupid voicemails and voice notes, and to the idea that you could be that funny at that age. And he's doing a Broadway show where he's the lead.
Yeah,
He's 74 years old, I think.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's it blows my mind. So endlessly inspired by him, and then I got to act with him and be in scenes with him, which was the best.
He's probably the best Oscars host of my generation. I loved it when Alec Baldwin did it with Steve Martin. I like that a lot. But Billy Crystal would give you the whole shebang. He would do the songs, the da da da. And this was at
That's
a
right.
time when you could still make fun of people in the audience without offending them. You and I overlap in a way in that you do a lot of voice work.
Yes.
I do quite a bit of voice work, animations, la di da. And I saw a thing when I was reading about you. Uh, I hope this is true. It said you, along with Bill Hader, vocal consultant on The Force Awakens.
It's true. It's
Well,
a great story.
what is that?
I'm trying to see. I also have. I could piggyback this into a great prop reveal.
Yes,
Rob, I
please.
just need you to, while I take off my headphones, fill the space. Do one of your
Okay.
classic 10-second bits, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay, one of your
Okay.
10-second jokes that just absolutely kill. And that's
Mhm.
all I need to get this prop. In go.
Okay. For me, 10 seconds is a wonderful length of time. You know what it is, you know when it starts, you know when it ends. And he said, "That's my penguin."
Oh, you did the penguin joke?
Yeah.
Classic one. And is
Yeah.
it the one where you go, where it starts, where it begins? Is that the bit you did?
Yes,
Oh, I love it.
yes,
Okay, well, I got a
yes.
great reveal at the end of this, but I'll give you the. Are you a fan of Star Wars?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not socially maladjusted. I mean, I do. I'm not one of those people, but I particularly like The Force Awakens.
So this is the Star Wars thing. J.J. Abrams was hired to write and
Mm.
direct Star Wars: Force Awakens, and then he
Yeah.
was off in England. They were doing it at Pinewood Studios over there. And then about a third of the way through a filming,
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, who plays Han Solo, his foot got hit, and like those automatic
Yes.
doors, it actually hit
Yes.
him, and I
Hmm.
think J.J. like lifted up the door, hurting his back, by the way, a mechanical door, and got his leg out, and they had to like wait for his foot to heal before they can keep filming. So JJ called me and he said, "Hey, there's a new droid in Star Wars Episode 7." First of all, you have to understand that the movie hadn't come out. Nobody knows anything about the movie. So I'm
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
inside knowledge for like the thing that so many nerdy people like me are like so excited about. So he says, there's a new droid. His name is BB-8, and the whole thing is I want him to be able to emote. I want you to know when he's happy. I want you to know when he's sad. I want you to know when he's making a joke. He said, so I have this idea. If you would be down for you to be the voice of it, you would give real words. We'd write dialogue for him. Then we would give it to ILM, which is Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic, and they'll turn it into beeps and boops. And I remember him hanging up and me just being like, I was just in LA on a random street and I was like, I couldn't believe that I was like, do you guys even know who the fuck I'm talking to right now and what we're talking about? Like, this is insane. And so he came home and he showed me footage and we wrote some lines for it. And then I did it into a microphone. They sent it to ILM, and when it came back, it was so clear that a person was talking. It was like, I am, and it was like, no bueno, very bad. So then we went back and I used a synthesizer. We used this incredible machine, and started then to do like the and like started to do that. And then I got a movie and I had to leave. And so when I left, we were right near the end. And so we hired Bill Hader, who's incredible at incredible at voices and accents and VO stuff. So he got hired. He took over. And then Rob, I'm not even kidding. I think in the end, JJ found an app on his phone and just did it through like an app on his phone. But the editors had told me afterwards, they said that we kept your dialogue in his BB-8 when we edited, so we could understand
Ah,
exactly what the flow of these conversations are and what they're talking about, and it really helped us editing. So then in the end, the gift that JJ and that company gave to me was they put our name in the scroll. So like it's the coolest thing in the world
ah.
where it says like BB-8 Viva voiceover. I always ask like when I do a show, I take one prop and I ask the prop master what I can take and stuff like that. But this one, I was like, I know I can't ask because they won't let me touch anything. And I'm looking around and I was like, I'll just take like a stupid little thing. And I saw the insulation because it was an old ship by then, was hanging down a tiny bit of insulation. I said, I'm going to take this inch of insulation, just rip it off. I'm going to put it in my pocket. Nobody would ever know, and that'll be it. So the person who's giving me this guide, he's walking by, and I see the insulation, and I'm just tall enough if I get on my tippy toes to grab it from the ceiling, and I could rip it off. And so he's going forward, and I'm like, all right, this is my chance. And I go on my tippy toes, and I grab the insulation, and it goes, and it keeps ripping, like almost like it's like a joke. It keeps going, and it finally rips out, and then I put it in my pocket real quick. But that's my prop. I have the insulation from the Millennium Falcon there
Wow.
on my wall.
Wow. I thought that was a great film. Imagine that you're sitting on that and you can't mention it to anybody.
It's there. I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. So the first time anybody found out was when the scroll came up, and also I played a
Yeah.
stormtrooper in that as well. And so I wasn't allowed to tell
Really?
anybody about that either. Yeah, put on, man, impossible to move, impossible to see. I cannot believe people do stunts in those things. I like could barely
Well, it
walk without
makes you
tripping.
because although what they do for the empire is ultimately bad, it does give you a respect for them that they were doing it in such uncomfortable costumes.
Absolutely correct.
I'm
What
not siding with the empire for one moment, Ben. I wouldn't want you to think that,
it
but
sounds like you
I
are. I
do.
hate to be rude. It sounds like you're very pro Empire and pro Stormtrooper.
I just think people don't give them enough credit for doing evil deeds in great discomfort.
I get. I'm going to say one of your famous quotes that when you saw Star Wars, you said there are good people on both sides, is what you kept saying, and I was like, to me, it felt like a big swing and a miss. But I understand where you're trying to come from, but to me, it felt like a big swing and a miss.
Oh, God. Here's another thing I wanted to ask you about. You end up writing for David Letterman, and that came about kind of by chance.
Yeah, so I was a freelance writer for his monologue. So that means that I had to, as a kid, I had to buy a fax machine and buy a landline and fax jokes in because that was the way it was done. And the money I would get paid is anytime I got a joke on, which is obviously not all the time, I would get paid $75 per joke. So the money I was making was put immediately to trying to pay off the fax machine and the landline. But I got it because I was a page there, a job that I got. I just got myself there. Didn't have any. I never had any hookups within the entertainment industry. Just, I was lucky enough to walk by Letterman one day, see people doing this thing on the street, which is getting the audience in there, and I was like, oh my god, I'd love to do this because then I could see Letterman every day, and got an interview and just got really lucky. Then after I worked there for a while, I asked if I could freelance for the monologue. They said no, of course. And then after a while, they said fine, you could put in a couple of jokes a day and kind of learned how to write jokes by that because everybody's different. It was me learning. There's a gentleman named Steve Young who is the monologue person there, and he would give me notes on them. And then when I got my first joke on, then I had to sign a freelance contract. Then I was allowed to send as many as I wanted. So every day, every single day, I sent 15 jokes a day to Letterman, no matter
Wow.
what. I'd wake up at 6 in the morning. I'd go on Yahoo News at the time and I'd look up unique stories, not just like the stuff. And then also I'd learn what he would make fun of because I've been watching him for so long. And then you kind of write jokes for his voice. What is this? What is this 65-year-old man going to make fun of today? So it's like so that I kind of started there and then I got then Weekend Update was nice enough to let me do it for them. And that was it, which is a great way to start to learn how to write because I was forced to write. Every single day I was forced to write and I was excited by it. I wasn't scared by it. I was so excited and anytime I got a joke on it was a huge triumph for me. And then I took that into sketch writing, and then failed a bunch in sketch writing, then started to get a little bit better at it. And then I took that into TV writing, and then wrote a couple bad pilots, and then sold a bunch. Then same with movies, wrote the first couple, nobody cared. And then all of a sudden, I get to write these movies. So it's like I've always found that same with improv. Like you go on stage, you got to do it. You got to write. You got to if you want to write a TV show, write a TV show. If you want to perform improv comedy, or if you want to get on stage like you do, Rob, it's like get out there. This is what I tell people who are asking me like how what they could do at the beginning. I would say get on stage, take a risk, fail because you're going to fail, learn from that failure, get back on stage, take a risk, and you're slowly going to find your comedic voice because through the failures, you find what you like, what you find funny, what you excel at, what you can get better at. It all starts with failure.
I totally agree with you on this idea that you take a risk and you fail and you slowly get better and that you're shaped by these failures and how
Yes.
you respond to them. But then I always come back to Eddie Murphy, who seemed to just come out from the get-go
Yes.
and boom, incredible.
Yeah, there are anomalies. There are, I mean, he is just born as a bright light of funny. Anything he does is hilarious. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And he was
It's
19 when he got an SNL, I
I
think.
I know. We are out of time. There's no nice way of saying it. But what a pleasure to talk to you, Ben. Next time you're in Britain, look me up and let's have dinner or something. Yeah.
Oh, I would love that. I honestly would love that. I'll find a way to exchange information over there. And there's a chance I've been trying for the past year and a half to do improv tour in England and in Ireland. And if that happens, I'll catch you before or after it. And
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah, yeah.
anytime you're in America, please tell me if you ever want to see a show. You may enjoy it.
Well, we're going to say a show business goodbye for the viewer and listener, but then you're not going to go. You're going to stay there, and then we're going to exchange details,
Oh wow.
and it's going to be lovely. Okay.
Unbelievable.
So
And we're
here's
gonna
here's
exchange your assistant's number and my agent's number.
no, I'm giving you access to the
Holy
hologram
shit.
himself.
Holy shit. Guys, I'm gonna start a
Yeah,
podcast with just his personal info. And if you
yeah.
want to listen, it's gonna be great. It'll be like the after show of this.
But we've got to do the insincere goodbye first of all. So hey, thanks so much for doing this, and I'll give you back your day. And great to meet you.
A pleasure. I hope we get to do it again. Lovely, lovely to finally connect and meet you.